Tonight, 129-92. Frank, get to the second quarter, pretty close game. Nets just hit the Jets and leave the Magic in their dust.
Yeah, the Orlando Magic were completely outclassed tonight. And the Brookyln Nets, there was a 50-point turnaround in this game. There was a point in the first quarter where the Magic actually had a 10-point lead at 28-18. Over the last 31 minutes, the Nets outscored them 111-64. You don't see that very often. And again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but they don't have Kevin Durant.
Right.
This is one of the best players in the history of the sport. He's not playing, and they're putting up these kind of numbers.
And by the way, the byproduct of a big win, how about the fact that they get Kyrie Irving and James Harden off their feet a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think getting them going, I thought Kyrie struggled a little bit in that Sacramento game after the first quarter. And tonight, both of them playing really well. And like you mentioned, the minutes police, they're not going to like tonight, or they should like tonight. Right. They didn't get to Steve Nash got to take both of them out, give them some rest in preparation for Saturday night's game against the Dallas Mavericks.
James Harden falls just short of a triple-double, 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Kyrie chips in with 27 as 6 Nets come up with double-figure games. Now, it is an 8th straight win, and for the Nets, that continues a nice run. You see their present winning streak is 4th in franchise history. Coming up next, a 10-game winning streak. At least they're going to try and get there.
Yeah, and what's impressive about this is that it started with all of those road games on the West Coast. And now getting back, beating Sacramento, they kind of settled in. And tonight, it took them a while. That might have been the worst 5 minutes of an NBA game I've seen in a long time. And that was the responsibility of both teams. They were missing shots. Ian Eagle and Sarah were talking about on the broadcast a lot of air balls.
Yeah.
But in that, once the Nets fell behind, they only had 5 points in the first 6 minutes. Look what they did the rest of the game. I mean, their offense just comes to life. And the one thing about Kyrie Irving and especially James Harden, it just elevates the confidence of so many different guys on the team. Tonight, you see what Landry Shamet did. Bruce Brown, the last game. When you have great players, that's the thing about great players. They're going to make everyone else around them better and more confident.
Mentioned this at halftime. James Harden right in the middle of things all the time. And he was again as they scored 41 in that second quarter.
Yeah, and James Harden, the game just seems to come so easy to him. This is the kind of night where if you told James Harden beforehand, you know what, we're going to play you 40 points, 40 minutes, go out and try to score 50, he could have done that tonight. That's how easy this was for him on this night. Very composed, very much in control. Again, the first 5-6 minutes of this game, it was ugly for the Brookyln Nets, and that includes James Harden, but he got his act together, and everything, again, just comes so easy.
It's interesting. At one point, they're down by 10, but they just, as we've seen over this 8-game winning streak, they just chip away and finally find a rhythm. And you look at what they've done during this 8-game winning streak, averaging a little better than 122 points a game and only giving up 110. So there's a big differentiation.
And that had been the big issue early on in the season, really up until the Detroit game, about what can they figure out defensively, and certainly they figured it out tonight. Now, Orlando, granted, that is a team that has been decimated by injuries. They're missing Aaron Gordon. Markelle Fultz is done for the season. Cole Anthony is out. Jonathan Isaac, I got everybody out. That's our guy, Jonathan Isaac.
Right.
And that's the issue that they're having right now. They got guys injured, and they just can't score. They're relying on Vucevic, but he can only carry them so far. Terrific job by the Nets. Winning the games that you're supposed to win. That's what the top teams in the league did.
And they struggled a bit against sub-500 teams, but they definitely got the job done tonight. All right, we got a lot more coming up from the studio, Frank and I, and we're going to get you back out to Barclays. Michael with some more interviews. Steve Nash talking to Michael in the media. We'll get some courtside thoughts from Ian and Sarah, and then more on tonight's game as